Well, first of all, if you have people around you who so disrespect your right to be you that they give you a hard time for being you, then what are you doing with them? You know, there's loads of other people out there that will respect you. Go and find them. Don't surround yourself with people that don't respect your right to be you. I don't care if they're family. I don't care who they are. If they don't respect your right to be you, then what you're doing, interacting with them all the time, it's just going to make you depressed. It's going to make you frustrated. Walk away. And if they then come round, great. But if they don't, well, equally great. You know, it's like kids. I see this thing with parents. You know, I've spoken to people in their 60s who are still feeling guilty for not doing with their lives what their parents wanted them to do.
People said to me, didn't you know that would happen if you said this and said that? And I said, well, do you know I'd worked that out? Mm-hmm. But you say it anyway. But you see, there's a lot of background with that, because I was going through my life. I left school at 15. I didn't take a major exam because I went to be a professional footballer with Coventry and others. And then my career ended with rheumatoid arthritis.
You know, if your mother wants to be a lawyer, she could go be a bloody lawyer. If you want to walk in India, go and walk in India. And if your mother, I don't care, all these stuff, I don't care. You will only express your true, unique self if you refuse to let anyone impact and suppress that expression of your true, unique self. And the number of people, the number of parents who, and I think this is child abuse, frankly, who want to live their lives through their children. I played a whole year of league football with rheumatoid arthritis. That's a whole story in itself. But what that did is it developed in you, because all these things are within us, and experience brings them out. And if you don't have experience, often they don't come out. So I have this phrase, life tends to give us our greatest gifts, brilliantly disguised as our worst nightmares. Because often our worst nightmare will bring things out of us that wouldn't otherwise happen. This is why if you bring your kids up and you protect them from everything, you're doing them no favors, because you're not developing strong people who will be able to deal with life. You're developing people who are always looking to be protected. And look at what we have now. And once you have a generation or you have a population that wants to be protected and perceives itself all the time as being a victim, where does the point of power move? It moves to authority, because people look to authority to protect them from what they fear or what they feel victimized by. A daughter wants to be a nurse, but they go to university because mother says so, father says so. The number of people, it's not even rare. The number of parents, particularly the ones with more money, therefore more influence and access to these educational institutions, the number of them that impose their will on their children because it suits them and not their children is absolutely disgusting. And what it's doing, it's turning out very frustrated, very distorted people who are living a life they don't want to live. And I'll say this to people: are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Do you get up in the morning and say, new day? So what we've been developing is a population of emotionally weak people who perceive themselves in terms of victims. When you have challenges in life and you meet them, it brings something out of you. So, for instance, when my arthritis came, and I didn't know what else am I going to do at that time. I wanted to be a footballer. I wanted to be a footballer since I was a kid. And now my joints are swelling up, and they're telling me I'm going to have to pack it in. Now I thought, I'm not packing it in. I want to give it a go. So I went to a club called Hereford United that was a league club then. And I played the whole season with rheumatoid arthritis. Every morning when we were training, and warming up for training on cold English mornings, I was in agony. And I would be limping and what have you, and the players would say, "Oh, what's wrong now, Icke?" And I would give a different excuse. "Oh, I've got a bit of a pull. Oh, I think I've got a bit of a blister." But actually it was the same thing. If not, why not? Make a list. Why am I not happy? Why don't I have joy in my life? Why don't I wake up in the morning and say, yeah, new day? What are the things that make me not feel like that? What are the things that would make me feel like that? Okay, stop doing them and do them. And refuse to compromise on stop doing them and doing them. Take control of your life. And you know, if you go deeper into it, this is the area that is my great passion, my great love, what I absolutely love researching and gaining understanding in, the nature of reality itself. And then I decided, because when I was a kid, I was always reading newspapers and I was very interested in journalism. So I became a journalist, and long story short, I eventually became a television presenter. And when I look at my life now, you see, and what I'm doing, my life before, which appeared to be a series of random events, same with you. You've had your challenges in life. What has it done? It's made you the person you are. You wouldn't be the person you are now without them. Mm-hmm. And people say, well, I regret that. Well, the thing to regret is if you don't learn from the experience. That's the regret. But learning from the experience, well, you've had a gift. What are you regretting for? We live in a equivalent of a Wi-Fi internet field. I call it the cosmic internet. They're quantum fields of possibility and probability waiting to manifest. I've got a computer here, and what appears on that screen is dictated by what part of the internet I access. That dictates what appears on that screen. And so I went into journalism because I was very interested in that. And I eventually became this television presenter. And when you look at my life, as I was saying, all the different elements of it, including going into journalism and seeing the media for what it is, going into politics with the Green Party and seeing politics for what it is, well, I didn't know at the time, but they were all giving me very, very important understandings that would be useful later on. In the same way, what part of these quantum fields of possibility and probability I access and turn into experience, in a way I'll describe in a second, dictates what appears on my screen. In other words, dictates my own life experience. If you live your life within the parameters and the program of the postage stamp consensus, then you are interacting with this quantum field of possibility and probability. And then what happened is, yes, this is a kind of bizarre story, but I was in the Green Party and I was still working for the BBC as a television presenter, and both were leaving me completely cold. And so I was, what do I do with my life now? Because I can't go on with either of these. And what happened was a very strange thing happened in a very narrow band of frequency. So the potential you have to manifest experience in your life and achievement, if you like for a word, in your life is limited by that. Once you expand your self-identity, as I'll come to in a second, and your consciousness expands, and your sense of the possible expands, you're now interacting with this quantum field of possibility and probability in a much vaster swathe. And therefore, your potential for manifestation of experience, for manifestation of achievement, for manifestation of the world, the life you want, becomes massively expanded.